Assalamualaikum and hello. My name is Siti Athyrah. HRM554 News this time will talk about the issues related to bias recruitment. Age bias in hiring still exists. This is the reality when there are recruiters out there who still hire the candidate based on age, mainly because of these two assumptions. Number one, they believe that baby boomers lack knowledge with digital technologies and not fully understand the target market. Number two, Gen Z is said to lack working experience, implying that they cannot be tasked with big responsibilities. Based on studies, age bias in hiring escalated during pandemic. Prior to the pandemic, the AARP, American Association of Retired Persons, conducted a survey that indicated that 61% of persons aged 40 to 65 had witnessed or experienced ageism in the workplace. When the research was repeated in May 2021, the number of persons reporting witnessing or experiencing age discrimination increased to 78%. The greatest level AARP had recorded since it began tracking the issue in 2003. Linda Harmon, a 67-year-old marketing professional, said she was turned down for a job due to her age.
I had a track record, a very successful track record. I was well known in Denver for being one of the best in the industry. And it was like, okay.
Next issue from Indian country, whereby women face gender bias and unequal opportunities for career growth, say IIM alumni and students. Women students and alumni of elite Indian institutes of management said they lack a level playing field at the workplace. While this number has declined from 49% in the previous survey, there is still scope for this improvement. About 23% of the respondents accounted that tightrope bias, where professional women are seen as too weak or too assertive. When you look at the workplace, there is gender bias, even in the way we start a search for leadership roles, selection process, then the way we assist women. Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, chairperson of Biocon, told ET. Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw also said that organizations need to put in extra effort for diversity and gender inclusion. Also, organizations need to invest in growth of women professionals through structured programs.
It's no secret that certain industries are dominated by men, especially in top leadership positions. A classic example is the tech industry, where only 10% of executive level roles were held by women in 2020. One problem with informal shortlists for male-dominated roles is that the prevalence of men in those jobs lead people to automatically think that men are more suitable for the roles than women. Consequently, when people think about candidates who would be a good fit for those jobs, male candidates are more likely to come to mind over equally qualified female candidates. Taken together, informal shortlists pose a particularly daunting barrier to gender equity because they dually suffer from the systemic bias of informal network-based recruitment and from the implicit bias of selecting top-of-mind candidates in gendered roles.
Breaking news. People prefer attractive people. In life, we have told what is beautiful is good, but the phrase is stereotypical standing that has existed since the beginning of time. Physical appearance is frequently linked to positive personality, which could be a coincidence, or humans simply love admiring attractive people. In this case, I will explore the problem of physical attractiveness bias in hiring as this issue gets more traction. There is quite a bit of controversy about what has been termed the beauty bias nowadays, especially in light of a legally questionable job website which allows employers to recruit beautiful people to hire. It is well reported that there is a beauty premium in the job market. Physically beautiful people are more likely than unattractive people to get interviewed for employment and hired, to advance quickly in their careers through frequent promotions, and to earn greater earnings. According to research, more attractive persons are viewed as more ideal choices. They are thought to be more likable, happy, and show more socially acceptable characteristics. In general, physical appearance relates to physical characteristics such as height, weight, facial symmetry, body language, hair, and clothes styling. It is different when it comes to people who are oversized or weirdly dressed, or anyone who doesn't meet a society's dominant aesthetic norms. It is also common symptoms of appearance-based discrimination. This is known as prejudice, and it happens when hiring employees. When decisions are made towards a more common purpose, such as a hiring decision inside an organizational structure, the decision needs to consider a number of different factors. Candidates that closely meet the requirement should, in theory, be chosen from a pool of candidates. Physical appearance, on the other hand, might have a significant impact of this decision. However, this decision can be largely influenced by physical appearance.
Hi, I'm SYAFIQAH here as new entrants. Now topic are about racial bias at workplace. This is a summarization of the article. Nick Charlie Wright sent out 2 different resumes when applying for a corporate job. Although their work history was exactly the same, she got about 7 calls if offered a job or offered interviews. The resume with her own name had only heard back twice. Linked career experts, people with equal qualification and skill, do not always have or get equal outcomes. A lot of professionals are starting to feel like they have to withdraw their resumes or remove racial descriptors from their resumes. Unconscious bias is in place, he said. People often ask her for her middle name or nickname instead, she said. The experience ultimately leads Wright to create her own practices specializing in culturally competent relationships. MC's case skill, corporations have to be intentional about making sure their hiring process is inclusive. 81% of black professionals say 6 other black people in position of leadership will make their workplace more exclusive, according to a survey by Linky. Research from 2020 found black Americans only make up 3.2% of senior leadership roles at large companies. Linky CEO says business leader needs to measure and think about number of people from underrepresented groups who are applying for roles and opportunities. Business leaders should have the hard conversation with their employees about inclusion, he said. The survey found that 1 in 4 respondents say the fear relation in the workplace.
After listening to all the issues related to bias recruitment, now let's learn more about it.
The main question here is, what is bias recruitment? Bias in recruitment forms prejudice and discriminatory hiring decisions against one person or a group of people. Candidates suffer in the hiring process and miss out on job opportunities due to biased motives. Recruiters may make hiring decisions stem from subconscious emotions, perception, and stereotypes. Some of the signs that shows the recruiter is biased are hiring someone similar to themselves. This is a case of hiring a mini-me. This means a recruiter will favor those who are similar to themselves to fill a position. For example, if the school in which they attended or where they live is the same as the candidate, recruiters may feel an instant pull towards their application because they share similar traits. which will consequently lead to the presumption that they will make a good hire. Next, leading with intuition. A feeling or a gut instinct is not strong enough as a reason to hire. Every recruiter's intuition is different, which makes it difficult to standardize for a consistent screening process. During this stage, bias can occur because human emotion takes over, causing the reason to hire to shift focus away from skill set, experience, and true job potential.
Now, I will explain about the types of bias.
Number 1. Appearance. Appearance bias happens if somebody is judged differently depending on how they look, resulting in an imbalance between someone being judged on their performance and entirely based on how they present themselves. Number 2. Age. Age bias occurs when recruiters hire employees based on age stereotypes or preference rather than the merit. Let's say a company only choose young applicants. This is an example of age bias. Number 3. Gender. Gender bias happens when individuals tend to be treated unfairly because of their gender identity. For instance, when a company only hire male applicants to be the employee. Number 4. Race. Race bias happens when applicants are judged negatively because of their race or personal characteristics connected with race and the applicant not getting hired because of it. Number 5. Disability. Disability bias occurs when applicants are not getting employed due to their disabilities, although they are qualified enough. This should not happen because, in fact, employers need to provide necessary accommodations for a handicapped employee. And number 6. Religious. This happens when applicants are only hired depending on their religious customs or personal beliefs. For example, when a female Muslim applicant is not getting hired because she is wearing a headscarf.
General impact bias in the workplace. Bias has a huge impact on race in recruitment. Employers and recruitment agencies must do more to address this issue among the teams, recruiters and hiring managers. Both need to take responsibility for addressing their own biases. So today, I will explain more about 3 biases and their impact in the workplace. Firstly is ageism. It is age discrimination or prejudice on the basis of someone's age. First impact of the ageism is business miss out and experience. So when ageism in the workplace, it can increase the challenges for a business that is trying to grow. Older workers often as mentors for younger employees, teaching them the ins and outs of the position. So when this happens, employers are able to spend less time micromanaging their team and more time on tasks that grow a business. At the same time, younger employees gain the skills they need to succeed and advance within a company. Second impact of ageism is communities are not prepared for future needs. Across the country, our aging populations are rapidly growing. By 2035, there will be more people 65 years and older than people under the age of 18. Aging can be an empowering and positive experience that benefits all members of our communities. By eliminating age as determination of ability and success, we open the door to new opportunities for our workforce now and in the future. Second bias is gender discrimination. In the context of workforce, it can be defined as the giving of an unfair advantage or disadvantage to the members of the particular group in comparison to the members of other group. The impact of gender discrimination is it can cause job stress and distract employees. Also, it can reduce the level of productivity and profitability of the organization, and it has many devastating effects on the organization, because sometimes organization rewards inequalities are given more to male employees while women are equally or perhaps more accomplished than men. But such rewards have a negative effect on the morale of female employees due to gender discrimination. Over time, they suffer from burnout. Third bias is appearance. Appearance has an impact on every professional life. 86% of employees surveyed by Univia believe that physical appearance matters in the workplace. Overwhelmingly, respondents noted that appearance is an essential component of career success. Attractiveness can be greatly impact career success, from the hiring process down to raises and future promotions. This type of unfair advantage can hold many employees back from reaching their full potential and successfully utilizing their skill set. And last but not least, some top health beliefs included: appearance influence client perceptions and company image 90%, appearance affects employee confidence 85%, and appearance affects employee competency 73%.
A substantial collection of data demonstrates that the hiring process is biased and unjust. Implicit racism, ageism, and sexism all have a significant impact on who is employed. However, there are methods you may to do identify and remove this bias. Where should you begin? How can you assist others on your team in doing the same? Let we go through together. Firstly, reconsider the job requirement. Work like competitive, determined attract women more than words like collaborative, cooperative. On other hand, tend to attract more women. Job postings are important in recruiting talent because they often provide the first impression of company cultures. Secondly, conduct a work test. Evaluating work sample tests from multiple applicants also adds in calibration on your judgment. Employers get insight by asking candidates to solve work-related problems. A skill test forces employers to critique the quality of a candidate's work rather than judgment them based on appearance. Thirdly, standardized interview. Unstructured interview are unreliable for predicting job success. Say interview Coach Gino Bonnet. Structured interview in which each candidate is asking the same set of questions standardize the interview process and minimize bias, he says. Lastly, set diversity goals. Diversity objectives are important, say Bonnet. They bring the issue to the forefront in organization, she said. According to a growing body of research, workforce diversity results in significant business advantages. Data can help you gain support from your boss and co-workers for this objective.
In conclusion, the research shows how prejudice and bias can have a negative impact on decision making, especially in the recruiting process. According to research too, people hire unconscious bias when considering somebody to hire for a position. This bias exists independent of the hiring personnel experience or degree. However, studies show that these biases may be overcome by education, training, and good human resource procedure, such as the use of standard interviews. In today's highly competitive environment, find the top people is important to the company's success. By changing the dynamic of bias from recruiting, companies can ensure that hiring decisions are exclusively based on meaningful criteria. They will be able to hire the best individuals for their organization this way. So, that's all from us. Thank you.